Hey guys, Steeble here. Today we got some ranked action for you. Going to be talking about kind of the decision making, especially as the game evolves, and the importance of scoring. Swirsky's on the screen here. You know that means the Biscuit's the one we're looking at today. And we got a game on Trident. So we're spawned below A. My other destroyer spawned by C. You guys know I like to have the destroyers go to the caps they're closest to. You need to get one cap, your gimme cap, captured immediately. The gimme cap in this case is C because it's the furthest one from the enemy. So we get that one for free as long as that destroyer goes over there. And he needs to go there very, very quickly. Get on that, start those points ticking up. Me, I'm by A. I need to go over there, make sure that the enemy does not capture that one right off the bat. If we lose A through the course of the game, sometimes it happens. My primary goal as a destroyer, especially in ranked, is to stay alive, preferably through the entire match, but as long as possible. If we lose our destroyer very early, right off the bat, that's a major blow to your chances. Usually that's going to go down as a loss at that point. So destroyers, you want to be focused on staying alive, but of course you want to be as effective as possible while staying alive. So we want to get over here, and we're doing so. Ideally, in terms of team composition, I'd rather have maybe 4 ships go towards C here, 3 towards A. I like to have them evenly split. I don't think overloading works that well. If you're going to overload one side, do the side with 2 caps, because otherwise they get those other 2 caps for free, basically, which is a problem. But you don't want to give up 2 caps regardless of how it happens. The points go up very quickly in domination mode, and they go up very, very quickly in ranked domination mode. So I'd say 9 out of 10 games are ended before all the ships are killed on one side or the other. In ranked, it's probably higher than 9 out of 10, but at least that many. If you're not paying attention to the score, you're not playing ranked mode correctly. You're going to lose a lot more games than you need to be. Looking on the map, they just captured B. Our radio locator is pointed to the north. We can assume that's probably the unaccounted for destroyer. A little bit late to the party, but, looks like he's coming here. And now that they're capturing A or contesting A, we can confirm that, because if it was a cruiser or battleship, we'd of course see them. We got a fair amount of support over here. The enemy is heavily overloading the side, so this is going to be an intense fight here. Asashio pops up. Now I don't immediately pop the smoke because I'm spotting this guy until he shoots, and my teammates behind me will see him at that point if I pop the smoke. I'm still spotting for this guy. Great play by the destroyer. I think it's the Belfast behind me. Me and him gunning this guy down. And again, if we lose these destroyers on that team early, that's a major boon to our win, or our chances of winning at least. So, took a lot of damage, mind you, and it would not have been good to trade the destroyers. It's not preferable. I mean, you'd rather trade them than they kill you and they get away. But ideally, what we accomplish is what you want. You got the destroyer surviving, the other one dying. And we got the cap. So we got 2 caps off the bat. They got 1. Things are looking good. We killed one of their destroyers. Very good start as far as I'm concerned. But you're going to see now the enemy kind of responds. And rather than just be passive and say, woe is me, our team sucks, they do something about it. They push into this cap very heavily. Now for the next, 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going to be very vigorously trying to concentrate on keeping those red ships out of my blue detection ring in the minimap. That's, once they're in there, of course, you're spotted. When you're spotted as a destroyer, anyone that knows what they're doing on the enemy team will shoot you, then you'll die, especially with very low health. So that's our primary goal. The enemy team, though, is going to stop our accrual of points once they get on this cap A, and they're also going to be slamming into our ships, which if you look at the map, the enemy is pretty well angled towards our team. Ours is generally more broadside towards them, and they just wiped out that Belfast that was behind me there. So this side, even though we got the cap, is looking kind of dicey, just reading the situation here. So we do have to keep an eye on it, but our primary goal here is stay alive. We want to stay undetected. Cannot get detected, especially with a Scharnhorst that close. The secondaries alone could probably do some major damage here. Want to get those torps down as often as possible, pretty much on reload. Especially when their ships are kind of bunched up like this. Another disadvantage of playing close to your teammates is we're trying to torp this Scharnhorst. I think this one misses. I think we hit the ship behind them, but it's going to happen either this salvo or the next one. And when you're all clumped up that close together, that's the kind of thing that Destroyer players start really licking their chops for when they see it happen. So you want as much space between your team as you can possibly have in general, while still being able to successfully cover each other. And you don't want to be out of range, so you can't support your friendlies, of course, but when you're stacked right on top of each other, bad things like that can happen to the New Orleans. So Scharnhorst he's on the cap, which is important, but he's also really aggressively pushing into me. And because he saw where those torps came from, he knows roughly where we are. And keep in mind, those planes are flying around you. Now, you should know, if you're playing destroyers, what your air detection is, especially in rank, because, we'll see. I think I get plane spotted at least once here, and it's a very, very dangerous situation. There's not a lot you can really do about it at that point, because if those ships, like if the Scharnhorst is as close to me as he is, once that plane, I can't really become undetected from that plane from about half the time it's in the air, when it's flying through its orbit closer to me. Very dangerous. So I'm not really paying as close attention to the planes as I need to be here, and it almost cost me big. You can see we still have a minute left on the smoke reload, so no real way to disengage when we're getting spotted. A little too aggressive here, trying to support my team, because you can see we're kind of getting outnumbered here, and they're in the process of flipping the third cap, so everything about this game is kind of forcing me to play aggressively, but maybe a little bit more careful in terms of the vision. You can see right there we just got spotted. That could very easily have been the end of the game. If that Fiji was paying attention, or the New Orleans behind him, I think, whatever those ships are, they could both have easily killed me there, so kind of got away with one. And there we get spotted yet again, so a little bit risky. Now even though there's a lot going on, we do want to keep an eye on what's going on in the game. And on the other side of the map, of course, those caps are both red. We do have a battleship. Now, I don't have time to check what that battleship is right now as I'm thinking about it, but it ends up being a Scharnhorst, and he ends up killing that destroyer at some point, which is extremely important. And then we need to start thinking about, how do we win this game? But we'll talk about that more here as the game develops. Get one torp down towards the York, just in case he doesn't turn. Again, we're just primarily trying to create distractions for these guys. When those torps are beeping, they kind of have to respond to them, or if they don't choose to respond to them, then they get hit by them, of course. But, anyway, it's just more and more for them to deal with, adding stress to a stressful situation, I guess. Now that the York is this low, and because, the situation's a little dire, we decide to pop the smoke down, start taking some shots at him. Usually I'm going to be shooting HE with the ship, but you can see a broadside cruiser that close. We do flip it over to the AP, aim as low as we can, and we're getting some decent shots there. 3K is better than the damage we would have gotten with the HE salvo. So destroyers in general, if you're only going to load one shell and you load HE, you'll be doing just fine, pretty much as a rule. But if you understand when you can get away with those AP shots, it's still profitable to load those in and get the damage done. So now we're all alone over here, but the Scharnhorst, there he kills the Jervis, and he's flipping C, so that's a good start, and that brings it down to a 2v2. Of course, I'm 1v1 this Fiji over here, and then it looks like he's got one more guy over there. So Scharnhorst keeps this game alive, and he gets rewarded for it big time in the score at the end of this game. Unfortunately, he's so far away, I couldn't even really keep an eye on his health or what the situation was like over there. But he ends up taking out both of those ships, which is a major boon. Fiji's, I think as I'm playing this game and as I'm watching it back, I still agree with the assessment. I think he's just kind of trying to get back towards the cap, trying to prevent me from taking it, which of course is my main objective, because if we can, he's killed the ship over there, he's flipping C, I'm looking on the map like, please don't be a potato, don't get off that cap, you need to capture this. And I can't tell. He's probably desperately trying to slow down. Of course, easier said than done in battleships. But he does slow down. He does stop. He gets C. And then I think I'm pinging B. Get on that one. Get on that one. And why I'm doing that rather than calling for help is because look at the time. And this is kind of the reading the end game and knowing how to win in the given situation. How do we win? We have two options. We can kill the Fiji, which at this point in time, I have no idea what my teammate's health is. I know I'm a one-shot, and I know if this guy spots me, I'm probably going to die. So then it's a Fiji versus a Scharnhorst. The Scharnhorst could have 2 health. He could have 60,000 health. I have no idea. Unlikely he's got a lot of health, though. Or The other option is we got to win on score. Now, because there's a lot of time left, score becomes more and more important. The more time is left on the clock, the more you really got to be focused on the score. Let's say they're up 300 points, but there's only a minute left. Then even if we get all those caps, we're not going to have time to swing the score enough to catch them, in which case you have to desperately focus on killing that ship and nothing else. And this is kind of, it comes with experience. You can get experience from watching replays, but primarily from playing the game. And even if you die, I would recommend sticking around a lot of times, just watching both what your teammates are doing, because you can study them and say, oh, you're doing this wrong. It's a lot easier to notice mistakes when you're watching people, and that'll kind of help you learn from watching what they're doing wrong. And also, the more endgame situations you see, the better you'll be able to read the situation. Keep an eye on the score, keep an eye on the time, evaluate. How do we win this game? You should always be evaluating every single game at multiple points throughout the game. What do I need to do to win this game? What do we need to do as a team to win this game? And if you can identify that, which is a skill that is not inherent, it's a learned skill, that goes a long way, because making the incorrect decision will often cost you the game, but you see it time and time again. So definitely something to study up on and practice as much as possible. Fiji's flipping A. Not anything I can do about it. I can't rush into him. I can't push him off that, of course. If he spots me, I'm dead. What I'm trying to do is just keep him lit. But I'm keeping an eye on what he does. And now that the Scharnhorst has shots at him, I suspect he's going to go back behind the island. So I think, you're going to see me turn right now. And this is me processing what I think he's going to be doing and then moving to immediately counter, because the time, of course, is of the essence. Look at how close the score is. It's getting closer, but they're still up. And if we can't kill this Fiji, and he does have the option to run away, and, he can run away from the Scharnhorst for sure. If I try and corner him around the other side of the island, he can kill me very quickly. So it's in his interest to stay alive and hope we make a mistake in terms of how to win the game and the importance of the scoring here. But I'm not going to do that. Anyway, Fiji's disengaging. We're luckily getting away with those shots there, both from his secondaries and his main guns. But, we were briefly detected there, got a little bit too close. Kind of telegraphed my play, frankly, that I'm countering what he's trying to do. Luckily, I don't think he picked up on I don't think he understood exactly how I was countering him. I think he thought I was just trying to keep him lit so the Scharnhorst could kill him, or maybe I would suicide torp him or something stupid. But my entire intention is to skim up as far to the right-hand side of this cap as possible, stop them from getting points, and if I can capture it in the process, excellent. Then the Scharnhorst, it's up to him. He can stay alive, and the game's won at that point in time, or it should be. Even if he kills me, I think we would have enough time to accumulate points to win the game. So, it's very, very important, but you got to keep analyzing the situation here. But now, the further and further around this island I get, the less and less likely he's on the cap. And now that we're actually capturing the base, that's another clue that I didn't mention as we're talking about this. But we can see as soon as it says it's not contested in the middle there, it says capturing area. That means the other ship isn't on the cap. We can get a rough read on where he is. So he's going to recognize his mistake, and he kind of turns around to come back here. Number one, to stop the points from accruing again by contesting A, but he also wants to push into me, get me spotted, and then quickly kill me, because that will allow him to have a chance against the Scharnhorst. He can kind of rush the Scharnhorst, get into some sort of torp duel, or if the Scharnhorst plays poorly, goes broadside, the Fiji can pump out a lot of damage. You don't want to mess with the Fiji. But the Scharnhorst, the gun caliber, everything about that ship is kind of nightmarish for the Fiji as long as the Scharnhorst plays well, which he does. And it's a good feeling when you get excellent teammates like this that help you win games, rather than go out of their way to find creative ways to lose them. So wicked shot from that Scharnhorst into the Fiji. Now we know the Fiji's attention's, of course, occupied by trying to defend himself from the Scharnhorst. We join in on the guns, whittle him down. The Scharnhorst gets the kill, and excellent game. We give him a thumbs up thank you on that one for contributing to an awesome win, in my opinion. So that was a look at kind of the strategic thinking that goes into ranked battles. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.